What's going on, everybody? It's Mike Vassallo over at Financial Equities, and I have my friend here, Ralph Ross from Signature Premier Properties, Massapequa. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Not much.
So yeah, this is episode 3. We're still trying to figure all this out and kind of get it all dialed in and everything. So wanted to start off, how I always kind of do, Ralph, is ask, how did you get into the real estate industry? Like, what was that aha moment that you...
Yeah. Great question. So 2006, I started thinking about, 16. Wish it was 2006. 2016.
Right before the collapse.
Yeah, God. 2016, I started thinking about buying a house, saving money, went to an open house or 8, and found that every agent that I encountered was like really abrasive and not like I didn't click with any of them. And then someone tried to sit us down and like have a little bit more of a discussion with my wife and I appreciated that.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a type of work with them situation. And I just, even like then, they were still really challenging to work with, in my opinion.
Okay.
But they were super nice people. Like we just didn't click. But long story short, like I was like, I could do this and better than all these people that I've met so far.
Okay.
Plus I knew I was like way in advance. Like I hadn't even gotten pre-approved yet. I had no idea what that meant at the time.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I could afford, $45.
Sure.
And so
Yep.
it was a learning experience. But so I went to that and I was like, I could definitely do this. So, but I knew, like I said, I had another 2 years, really, 1.5 years before I was ready to buy.
Okay.
I was saving. I had this misnomer that I needed 20% down, right? So in my simple brain, I was saving.
I'm almost at 20.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I got $150K now. I could actually do something. So, it worked out in the long run. But ultimately, that was the beginning of me getting in. Okay. So I was like taking the courses while saving money and learning about the business and learning about buying myself. And
Sure.
It worked to my favor, but it was a long, circuitous route. And happy that I'm here. I'm going to say something that I bet every other realtor and maybe banker says as well. Wish I started 10 years before that. Wish I started in 2006, not 2016.
Yeah, no, 100%. I wish I didn't start that, at that point, because you want to know something? I feel like everybody had that crazy, like we missed out on almost like a COVID time where it was so nuts, and then the bottom fell out, and then most of the people, I'll be honest with you, are not in the industry anymore. So I almost said that I was glad. I walked in right after that, and I was like almost glad that I didn't experience that, where it's like I started from the bottom, down here type of thing,
exactly. Great song.
But yeah, so similar. Like when I got into it, I kind of saw the people that were my competitors, my colleagues or whatever. And I was like, I could do this better than what I saw the people doing. Like, you know what I mean? That were in the industry. Exactly. And not that I was a mathematician, I'll be honest with you. I was in remedial math in Nassau Community College. You know what I mean? I'm not a math whiz, but the fact of learning the products and helping and guiding someone, I think is so rewarding, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, and to go back to my situation, you said helping people. I literally felt like these people had their hand in my back pocket right away. And I was like, I didn't even understand how they got paid. Never mind why it mattered. Like it matters. Everyone needs to get paid. But I'm just saying no one took the time to explain or educate me. And if someone did, I would have worked with them from A to Z and probably never been a realtor, honestly. Right. Yeah. If I walked through the door and found someone that was like-minded like myself and went about it in the way that I do, because I do genuinely enjoy helping people, sometimes to a fault. Sometimes I help people too much. I tell them every single detail that comes to my brain that tries to make it easy for them. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
what
the loyalty is tough or whatever. I always say I try not to get, what is the word, butthurt, if you will, over it as much anymore, where I always used to. And I have to remember and kind of, pinch myself, if you will, and just be like, it's okay. Not all personalities work out.
That's correct.
You can only bring the horse to water type of thing. And,
me too, man.
But sometimes it would really I'd come home and Jen would be like, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you're not going to believe it. And I try to roll off my back now and just kind of move on. But at the end, it still bothers
Sometimes
me.
It bothers
still
you,
does.
dude.
It still
Sometimes
does. I ain't going to lie.
You.
You don't ever want to lose a deal or
or
not have someone not happy with whatever transpired or whatever.
I hate that. When you leave a transaction that was great for the first 85% and it for
And
whatever
sometimes
reason
things happen. I
crumbles.
mean,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, sometimes things
Feel
happen.
really bad, but-
and our business is literally 100% referral based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so important for us to keep the relationships with everybody that
Absolutely,
we come
man.
across. Bringing up Dino and the Valley Stream crew or
Yes.
whatever. I mean, perfect example. I mean, I've helped so many people from Valley Stream.
Yeah.
From all the way from elementary school all the way to high school.
I know. Yeah.
And Dino being one of them that we worked together with,
Cool.
which was kind of cool. So
was
that was
great.
fun. How small of a circle. That.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't know one another prior to speaking, working with Dino.
Yeah.
And then after, talking or whatever, we didn't realize how many
connections
we had.
I
Yeah.
know, it's so
that we
funny.
had no idea. Like,
So
wait,
funny.
this one, that was
We've
like.
probably been at bars and parties
And
together at
had
the same
no
time.
idea.
And had no idea.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I had no idea, and it's
Yeah.
just so crazy. So shout out to Valley Stream.
Yes.
So I mean, it's definitely been crazy.
Awesome.
Literally just this week, depending on when this episode airs or whatever, but we were just talking about it before we came on, that the Fed now announced that we may be pushing rates back to the end of the year.
Yeah, something nobody wants to hear.
Yeah, and the rates just went back up this week and everything.
I
So
saw that.
it's kind of been a roller coaster. Because me on the end from this past couple of months, it's all been like, hey, June. And buyers are getting into contract, have that inkling that June may be the time or the end of this year. Now we're being told,
Yeah.
may not happen until the end of the year. So.
I definitely don't see 3 rate cuts happening. That's
No, we're running out of time. We're running out of time to even have one at this point.
Although they raised them that quickly, so
Yes, yeah,
who
no, I
knows?
know. And you want to know something though? It's like we've been very busy and we're pre-approving people. Clients are getting accepted offers. So it's like even though the rates are as high as they are, people are still buying.
Well, listen, you always have death, divorce, taxes, right? And then you have people that straight up, I'm older, I can afford it.
Right,
I don't care.
right.
I don't want to live with my mom anymore.
right.
So
Yeah. There's that.
one of
I've
those
heard that
things.
said before. There's 5 Ds. I think diamonds is one. Death, divorce.
Yep.
Diapers.
Yep.
And then I can't think
That's
of another one. Is that all 5? Did I name
death,
5?
divorce, taxes. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
But I was
there's a
like,
lot of them.
But I never really thought of that. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, all of those things are factors, whether or not you are ready or not ready, are going to make you either buy, have to sell,
Exactly.
move, downgrade, upgrade. I
Yeah.
mean, so I guess it's inevitable.
I think what's happening with our market is really kind of our age group, right? Where you had previous generations, you establish yourself as a professional, you and your family, your wife, what have you, make some more money, and you guys say, okay, we have more kids now, it's time to get the bigger house.
Right.
Those people are not moving right now unless they
Yeah.
absolutely have to.
Have to, yeah.
Whereas like if it was a more normal market, I would probably upgrade my own home. But I'm like, you know what?
Right, what's
to
the
go
point?
from 3.25% interest rate to
7.
7
Yeah,
is
just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's gonna double
Even
my
if it's
mortgage.
the beautiful house that checks all the boxes that
know.
you've always wanted,
I know.
it just doesn't make sense.
I know.
mean,
So it's really tough.
yeah.
And I'm sure you are too. We're having conversations with clients. It's like, guys, hate to say it, I like to sell houses, but it doesn't make sense for you. You know,
yeah,
I'd rather be honest and loyal and hope they come back to me in 2-3 years and the market comes down.
Yeah, I had a client last week. I guess a similar house came. They weren't really in the market to buy, but the house came on the market. So
Yes.
they literally within 2 hours was like, get the pre-approval, put the offer in, let's see what happens. And then it ended up not working out. And it was like, all right, boom, now back to the drawing. Like they're not moving anymore. But it was just like this one particular house that they were willing to, I guess,
willing to dive in
sacrifice and do.
Yeah.
And I think, and again, in our age group,
Yeah.
which kind of, it's like you said, I'm not going anywhere. I tell my wife, I'm like, bury me in the backyard. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not moving. I mean, she wants a new kitchen or whatever. I was like, maybe we'll do that at some point. But I'm like, I'm not moving. I don't want to pack up. I don't want to lose my rate, whatever it may
I
be.
hear ya.
I just don't. It is, but again, we can say that for maybe the two of us, but that's not the case with people who are getting newly married or people that are downsizing.
Yep.
I don't know. Like my first house when we purchased it, my mortgage payment, everything all in was $2,700. We were newly married.
It's like a 2-bedroom rental
I was
right now.
brand new in the industry. I was not making real money at the point. My wife, she was working at Bloomingdale's, Jen.
Yeah.
I mean, we were getting by. I was like,
Yeah.
if we were doing the same exact thing now,
Yeah.
I'd be living in my parents' basement still. I mean,
know.
there's just no way that it would have been feasible to have a
really
$4,000, $5,000 mortgage payment. But that's the new norm.
It's the new norm, man.
So
It's tough.
yeah, it is. And maybe segueing into, and I don't really know much about it. Maybe you could speak a little bit more. I could give my 2 cents, but this whole NAR settlement that has come out and how maybe this is going to change the industry or the market or how you're going to, sit down with like buyers and sellers when taking a listing or working with a buyer. What is your take on that?
So my biggest take on it is it's just a change. Reality is it's what we're already doing. Okay. It's just skinning a cat in a slightly different way. The fact that they came out and they said FHA and, Fannie, Freddie, they're going to allow concessions is humongous for us as realtors.
Yeah, it helps.
Truthfully, I think it may drive some people out of the business, and that's okay with me because I'm bad at what I do. So I'm hoping I get some leftover clients.
Yeah.
No, but all kidding aside, ultimately, I think we're going to be fine. It's a matter of having self-worth, knowing the service that you provide as a realtor. People don't get it. They don't see it. They think we just open a door and, oh, wow, they got the best job ever. Right. It is fun in its own right, but it's also work, and they don't see the behind the scenes of so many tasks that we tackle. So it's knowing your worth, approaching a client and explaining to them what you're going to do for them, and just having a transparent conversation.
Right. And then letting them decide what, to do at that point. Yeah.
I'm already like that. Like there's people that might not like me. I'm a South Shore Long Island guy. I operate that way, and people might not like who I am. I'm just real and raw. And so that's okay. You go find a different
find someone
realtor.
else. I think it. I don't want to say legitimizes. For real estate has always been on the mortgage end too. Like you never had to be licensed. When all the licensing came into place, I mean, it really drained the swamp, if you will. Yeah. Where people that were, and it was kind of right when I got into the industry as well. Yeah. And people that had maybe a bad past or whatever, no longer could get licensed. People couldn't pass the test. People that were maybe doing a couple of deals a year said, the hell with it. I'm not going to even bother doing it anymore. So I think it kind of did that, and it kind of worked to an extent. So maybe, like you said, it will weed out the weekend warrior real estate agent.
I think it might. I think it might for both of us, and I think that will really help professionals, like not just me. If I get an extra deal or 8 out of it, phenomenal. But at the end of the day, it's nice when you work with another professional realtor on the other side. Correct. That you don't have to hold their hand and explain to them, okay, is appraisal happening?
Fill out the forms next? For them or whatever. They don't know what they're doing. Right. And they're
just,
I heard somebody the other day, I guess they had a listing, and then I guess a buyer's agent basically wanted to have their person had their buyer see the house. So I guess they got the lockbox code or something. Maybe this is not kosher. I don't know, but I would think it wouldn't be. But they basically got the code from the listing agent, gave it to the buyer. The buyer went to the house themselves.
Absolutely
without anybody, on their own, did the lockbox thing to go see the house. And I was just like, whoa, I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's a perfect example.
That's of a huge what's no-no, dude.
Which gives you a bad rap, and it gives the industry why would people be doing it? And then that person's going to get paid.
It does.
For doing nothing.
And they don't
a code and
they don't even realize how much liability is associated with that.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It's crazy.
I can only imagine.
Not even beyond real estate.
No,
rule and law,
falling, getting hurt, anything.
You're just it's just
something getting stolen at the house.
An irresponsible person at the end of the day. And you know what?
I couldn't.
I work for Signature next door. Obviously, that's a beautiful thing about working for a company like that. Because if I can't be there, life happens. I have a daughter. I have a wife.
Sure.
I have a family. If I can't be there, I shoot out an email. Guys, can someone cover me and meet a buyer at this house for me? His name is Tom. Here's the house. Here's the lockbox code.
Everyone helps each other out.
I'll Venmo you $100. Just whatever. Something. Everyone helps each other out. You're much better doing that than just sending someone a code.
I was just like, damn. I was like, that's not cool.
Yeah, not cool at all. And I would be pissed if I was the seller.
Yeah.
Someone just walking in your house and now they have that code.
Yeah, and not only for that one time,
that's what I'm saying.
Forever,
that's
for
what
the
I'm
2 months or whatever.
Now you got squatter challenges
I couldn't imagine when I saw that. I was like, holy smokes!
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah. So it definitely, and you know what? I'm in it for the long haul, as you are.
Same,
I am, I'll be 40 in August, and I don't know anything else but mortgages, to be honest with you. So I think as we know in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, there's going to be changes to my industry. There's going to be changes to your industry. Yep. You just adapt.
You know what I mean?
That's it. It's not going to, people are always going to have somewhere to live.
Yeah.
So whether the interest rate is 0% or 15%, no one wants to live with mom and dad forever.
That's correct.
And again, so you just have to adapt to the rates, adapt to the laws that are changing.
When our parents bought houses, they were what? 12,
17, 15% or whatever, 100%.
So,
and then granted, people are like, well, the house was $70,000. But I think my mom, when she started working, she was a teacher. I think her salary was $3,500 or something, exactly. $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
so again, she was buying a $70,000 house, making $5,000.
It's all,
it's all relative. Yeah. And then the interest rate was 17% or 15%.
They didn't have a cell phone bill.
They didn't have a cell phone, no, or Wi-Fi or any of that other stuff. Yeah. So my son asked me the other day, he goes, Dad, how old were you when you got a cell phone? And I was like, I don't know, it was in my 20s
Like
or something.
21?
Yeah. I was like, when I lived in California after college, I didn't even have a freaking phone, you know? I was like,
They traded in my beeper.
They just don't get it. It's like hilarious. Like I was like, I love my kids or whatever, but I mean, some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth, I'm like, wow.
Not
I'm
their
like,
fault.
Yeah, yeah.
They just weren't
they
around
just don't
for it.
know.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember having like cassette tape,
I know, dude.
you know, like press and record at the same time and play on a stereo to record that track from you know, the radio stations or whatever.
Rewinding the VHS before you return to Blockbuster.
Yes,
so next time you walk in, they don't like call
charge
you
you and
scumbag.
stuff. Yeah. No, I know.
Wild
That's what
world.
I'm saying. It's just like, it's crazy. Like, you know, now they're talking like, put on SpongeBob, or I want to watch, you know, somebody was telling me my kids are big into sports and stuff, and they were saying a lot of the kids these days are advanced with a lot of the sports they play, and a lot of it's due to YouTube. Because they sit there and they watch how to do this maneuver or this skill or whatever, which we never had.
Yeah.
And you know what? It never dawned on me. And I'm like, you know what? That's all they do. They watch other people play.
Yeah.
You know, my son's a great Fortnite player. He watches other people play Fortnite. And I'm like, what are you doing? So
It's so
it's just weird.
That
Just
always boggled my mind about like how kids watch other kids play video games.
Yeah. That's why I said to my wife the other day, I was like, we should get him a podcast thing. I was
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? I was like, maybe we got this all wrong. I was like, maybe
Absolutely.
he should, well, not a podcast, but have him film himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Have
mean,
him stream
you know,
on what's it called? There's that there's a few apps, but like
I have no
don't know.
idea. I mean,
They're-
just the industry, like I was saying, like the life in general of like college and stuff. And I've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
It's just so wild to see in the next 10, 15 years, like what our kids, like, will that be the norm?
Yeah.
You know, to just do these like odd job type
I
of
know,
things
man.
and kill it. Like not just get
know.
by. Like
I know.
these young kids are killing it.
Some
with
people are
these,
making a
like,
lot of money,
doing
yeah.
the weirdest stuff. Yeah.
It is. It is. It's really wild. I mean, to your point though earlier, like I think the beauty for us is that this, even though we're still busy, I'm not as busy. I slowed down a little bit, but it's ebbs and flows and got a few things coming down the pike. I think it's one of those things where it's like, if we can weather the storm right now, it's only going to get better.
Yeah. It has
You know,
to,
we got changes to our industry. We got a really challenging market right now. Our sellers want absolute top dollar and they don't want to hear boo about changing anything. The buyers are bending over backwards and, you know, there's no inventory. So I can only imagine that we're going to go up, you know, in a positive way in the coming weeks, months, years, even if there are changes. We just got to figure out how to get through them.
I don't think it could get worse. I mean, hopefully, knock on wood,
Yeah.
knock on the money table.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's busy work. We've definitely been busy, which is like for me is great. It feels good. Last year, I was like, there were moments where I was like, is my phone on? Like, is it like, you know, it's like, what's going on, you know?
Seriously.
I was saying to Joe, I was like, I'm going to have to do Feet Finder or something, you know? I'm going to have to do OnlyFans, you know? I was like, this is getting crazy. But literally, we went back to our old school ways, you know, not having to think outside the box or whatever. And starting this podcast was something that I've been dying to do for a while. And I was just uncomfortable doing it. And I was like, you know what, the hell with it. I was like, gonna like rip the Band-Aid off
That's it, dude.
and just do it. And I think social media.
Gotta have fun with it.
It is. It's fun. Yeah.
That's the point of doing it, right? I mean,
it's a lot of fun
business,
and,
but also
and I think it creates an identity with the viewers and stuff who are watching it, like that we're real people. You know what I mean? That it's not so robotic or whatever. Like I say, I'm not sitting here reading off a script or whatever.
I actually
try
that pitch with people when I meet them.
Yeah.
Like I say to them, like, I'm a human. I
Yes,
live here amongst you on Long Island.
yeah.
I have a wife and a kid. I do this professionally.
You sometimes have to paint them a picture.
Yeah, because industry, whether it's bankers or not, or realtors, they have this like misnomer that we're all out to get everyone.
100%.
And it's
I use the analogy. I'm not sitting in a cubicle with a headset on right now.
yes,
You know, it's like Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and I'm on the so
Exactly.
I'm trying to tell and they can't get in touch with their other big bank or whatever it would be, you know, because it's the weekend and stuff. I said that's the difference between me and that person,
Absolutely,
or whatever it may
man.
be. And you have to almost kind of paint that picture because people are so, you know, these phones are glued to our hip, you know, constantly. So, you know, when you text somebody, 99% of the time, everyone's seen it, but maybe you're not able to answer it that second. And people want instant gratification in this day and age.
Yep.
So, you know, I've told the story. I was at my bachelor party. This is 2009.
Yeah.
And my phone rang at the roulette table.
yeah.
I go to pick it up, and the pit boss is like, "You can't answer that phone or whatever."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I have no freaking. I didn't even know. I'm not like." I hang up. I'll call you right back. wheel spins. I probably lost. I don't even freaking remember or whatever. If I would have won, I would have remembered. Anyway, long story short, I go outside to return the phone call, and it was an agent of mine that I can't recall referring me a client and needed pre-approval on the weekend to put an offer in. By the time I had walked out that door and answered and called the person back, they had called somebody else.
You lost.
Yep. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my
Yeah.
French. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, but that was like, and again, it goes to the instant gratification.
It's like an
So
aha
now,
moment.
like after that happened, my kids were young at that point. I was jumping over my kids, strollers, the couch. And when that phone rang, you wanted to answer it.
Yeah.
Because if you lost it, they're going to call the next agent. They're going to call the next loan officer. They're going to.
Yeah.
So,
but you got to balance that and like what we were talking about earlier, right? Like, yes, we have to jump and grab as many calls as we can. We're a service-based industry. And there's that old adage in football, like your best ability is availability, right?
Yep.
So I agree with that, but you also have to balance your life, man. You have to enjoy your life. And like we were saying earlier, like, you never want to lose a customer or something like that. But yet sometimes you got to enjoy. You got to breathe.
Yeah. Life is short. It is. And I've gotten much, much better over the years.
Me too.
Of being able to say like, no, I'm not available or I am available at this time.
Me too.
Rather than being crazy. And again, like I said, life is short. I don't miss any of my kids' sports or activities.
Yes.
I'm there. And you know what? I might be on the phone at it, but I'm there.
Right.
You know
I'm
what I
there.
mean?
I'm seeing it at least. And
Yes. So I mean, my kids always make fun of me that I'm always on the phone. They'll be like, Dad, they'll ask me for something, and I'm on the computer or whatever, So yesterday, Mason was like, Dad, can I get ice cream? And he's like, wait, Dad, let me do an impression of you. So he sits at my desk and he's on the computer and he goes, yeah, in a minute. Yeah, in 5 minutes. And like they'll ask me like constantly throughout. That's and I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing something. So it's always funny.
That's it.
They make me laugh. But
I'm glad you have the ability to work from home and get stuff done. I struggle with it.
I do too, but it depends. Like, so I try to like wake up, get the kids out to school, do a workout, shower, get here. If I don't get here by a certain time, then I end up just working from home.
I know.
But I am not nearly as productive if I'm here. And sometimes it's just Jen and I, and I'm sitting here by myself.
Yeah.
But I'm way more productive in the office than I am.
It's just there's less distractions, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
But COVID did that to us.
COVID did that to the whole world.
Yeah, I know.
And we have, speaking to that, we have so many like clients. I meet so many people that are like, I need 5 bedrooms. I'm like, you only have like two kids. Like, and they're like, well, I need an office, and he needs an office, and like, I'm like, oh wow, you both work from home. And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, my wife would murder me if she had to work with me at home every day.
Yeah, she'd be like, you got to get out of here. Your office would be outside.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I'd be working from my shed.
Yeah, the shed would be the office. Yeah,
put these headphones on and be like, yep, call center.
Well, COVID did that. I have a closing today that a guy I've never met, and I didn't get a chance. I'm meeting him for lunch later, hopefully. Did a refi, never met him. Cashed out to then use that cash to then buy the house he's closing today, still haven't met him. Yet I've spoken to him hundreds of times, but I have not physically met this person.
Wow.
Where prior to COVID, I was going to clients' houses, signing the documentation. It's just insane. And it's just crazy. So it's like these people, and it's changed the way we work, which I hate. I don't really like it.
Yeah, me too. Because we're like, you and I are people.
People, right? Exactly.
People.
I don't want to be on the phone. Yeah. I'm much better doing this.
Yes.
Than I'm talking on the phone.
Same.
And our Rangers are starting the playoffs, which is super, super exciting. We're both diehard Ranger fans or whatever.
We are.
I feel like all my friends are Islander fans. Literally Islander fans.
Funny you said that. I have like a good mix in my group, but I'm like, I've been worried about the Islanders sneaking in and us playing them just for the fact that they play us well. They have our number.
Yeah,
it
they
seems
get up
like
for
a little
those
bit,
games.
Yeah. But I'm pumped, man. I'm excited.
They're playing Carolina, right? So hopefully they get knocked out.
Yes, let's hope. But
by the time
but although Carolina's really good,
they are good. By the time this podcast airs, hopefully we're in like round 2. I hope or round 3 of the playoffs or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. It definitely is an exciting year, and the Knicks too.
Same. I know.
I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I'll watch it.
It's New York.
Yeah, I watched the whole Caitlin Clark thing, which was kind of cool with college and everything.
She's unbelievable, dude.
Oh, it's crazy.
She shoots from like 90 feet away.
Yeah. She just they were showing the salary or whatever. She's only making like $75,000 a year or whatever.
Yeah.
I just heard she signed like an 8-figure Nike deal for Caitlin Clark shoe, like or whatever. So she's doing just fine.
She'll be all right.
She's okay.
Yeah,
so they'll
she'll be
figure it
okay.
out. But that was a lot of fun watching that and watching the whole.
Like an 8-figure deal.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Sell a house, do a loan. I can't play basketball, so that's not my forte. So I got to figure something else out.
Yeah.
But so I mean, other than that, trying to think what else in terms of topic-wise that we have going on in this crazy world?
Well, I didn't sleep last night because I was up all night listening to Taylor Swift's new double album.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's huge.
Yeah, so I just heard something, but there's a song called Thank You, Amy. And then,
really don't
check this out. So Dave Portnoy talked about this
Okay.
today. He posted it, and I guess it's like, I don't know the whole Kim Kardashian saga
Okay,
and
me
Kanye
neither.
or whatever. I know that something was said. I don't know. But I guess there's a song that you'll notice on the album says that's called Thank You, Amy.
Okay.
And then the letters in the title, K-I-M, are capitalized.
Okay.
So it's like Kim, and I guess the song must be about Kim. I have
Kim?
no idea. I can't see Taylor Swift doing that, but whatever. I mean,
I don't even know what it's
I don't,
about, so
I don't know
yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah,
I guess there's
yeah.
some beef or drama or something like
Maybe
that.
they like each other.
I have
Maybe
no
it's
idea.
about because I know she
No,
doesn't like
no.
Kanye.
There's beef. No. It's beef.
Oh.
There's not a like thing. No. There's definitely like something. Jen was explaining it to me before. I don't even think she knew or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not really a Swiftie.
Me neither, dude.
Jen got into it during the whole football. Kelsey, Taylor. So even my daughter, or whatever. I think they were all rooting for just the fact that it was her, not
Me, I know.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's kind of became a lot. But
yeah.
NFL was smart about it though.
Oh man, they made a killing on that.
Yeah.
Killing on that. Yeah.
As if they didn't have enough already.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you guys have any? We're trying to come up with like an event. We haven't kind of like figured it out, but we were trying to come up with a big event for financial equities to do at some point. We're knocking ideas around. Well, a lot of the loan officers do their own individual events or whatever throughout the year. Maybe similar to like Signature. The offices do whatever, and then you guys do like Montauk. So we've been trying to come up with like a bigger, like whether it's a networking or something. So we're working on that. But as things get busy, then you don't have time to allot.
You run
for
out of the
that,
time. I know.
That's the thing.
I try to do it earlier in the year or later in the year when it's like a little slower. Later in the year gets tough because you have all the holidays.
Yeah,
and everyone
people
has
are going
holiday
away.
parties and stuff, and
Yep.
you just feel like I don't want to ask people to come out on Monday night. They've been out on Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
Friday,
yeah. We do our holiday party in November.
Yeah, it's
we
smart.
always did it then.
Actually, I remember. Yeah,
we
that's
do
right.
it at Rust and Gold
Yeah, Rust
every
and
year.
Gold.
Yeah,
Rust and
we
Gold
do
was
Rust
cool.
and Gold in November. It's
was
like,
smart.
and it's like our holiday, even though, but it's like right before it all goes down.
I actually remember my wife being like, "You're going to a holiday party today," and it was like early November, and I was like, "Yeah, someone's smart." Someone got out ahead of the curve. So yes, I'm going.
Definitely,
Yeah. When it's like the 11th holiday party in mid-December.
I can only
and I'm like,
imagine too. And then you need like different outfits for them because you can't look like you wore the same thing every time.
Exactly. It's so true. And it's not that you don't want to go to them. You want to be with everybody, but it just happens all so quick. Yeah.
I got you. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time
Absolutely,
to come on
man.
and
This
do
is
this. It
great.
was a lot of fun.
It was.
Like I said, it's always an adventure.
It was.
And we'll see what happens as we get into what we're in full mode spring market right now.
We certainly
so
are.
it will definitely be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of months.
I can say from the Massapequa office that I'm in, I've seen the board getting busier and busier,
Okay.
and people are doing more and more deals.
Okay.
I myself, for some reason, have not done as much this
It
year,
will,
but
it will click. It
yeah,
clicks.
I'll
It's like,
be there.
I said, it's like you said, it's peaks and valleys.
It's ebbs
you
and
know what I
flows,
mean?
man.
You can't go crazy. Talking about your office, I have to say, your office is insane. It's so cool how all of you like get along, coexist with one another. Like you guys are just a good time. I don't think you see that a lot in offices. I feel like there's always like, I don't want to say animosity, but like undertones of like everyone doing their own thing. Like Jen and I were like, oh my God, we're like, they're cool. Like, but it's just cool to see how you guys all jive together and
Everyone's
hang out, support one another. Like, you don't find that a lot, from what I see.
Yeah,
It was
everyone
very
in that
apparent
office
and
is
obvious.
pretty cool and like genuinely just wants to help each other.
Yeah, it was good.
You know?
I was telling Lewis, I went on that Mohegan trip. He said he's got like a
Yeah.
soft date.
Yeah. We're gonna
He gave
go.
it to
We're
me,
gonna go like June 4th, 5th.
Yeah, he
something
gave
like
me
that.
the soft date. I was like, I would
but I
love
think
to
we're gonna do
that,
Borgata.
That's even better. That's fun. Yeah, whatever. I'd love to go. It looks like I can only imagine it will be a good time.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, thank you, everybody. That wraps it up. Thanks, Ralph, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And if you are not following us, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Follow Ralph at his handle on Instagram. We are on YouTube, and I appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Mike.